Good evening, mga kalaro, and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel where sport Titos talk about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak, Joel Barcon, and with me, as always, is Vice Chief Bisdak, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
I'm still trying to get over the episode. We'll get into that. I'm still trying to get over the episode. I'm wearing black today for a reason.
And feelings. And we also have with us the other man, the man with the thoughts. Let's all welcome the one and only Martin. Martz, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And Carolina Mania is running wild on Survivor 44.
Nice.
What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do?
Nice. What we are gonna do is we are going to talk. We'll take a look at the Survivor season 44 episode 2, and it's called the Dorky Magnets. And so, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's of course start with our highs. I'd like to start off the highs with, of course, Jao, you called it. And it does seem that Matthew's play with the shot in the dark was to hide his alliances, to hide what he wanted to do, right? Yep. And I think that makes it as a high, that it was confirmed that was what he really meant to do.
So we're going to go to last week's episode. So like current week count, the current week council is going to the previous week council and saying "attaboys."
Yeah. Nice for picking that up, pointing that out. All right. What do you think now? Now that he's confirmed that was his strategy, what do you guys think?
It might actually change the Survivor meta now. Like, there's now a mechanism to like vote none of the above, and it's going to cost you your vote, or it's going to cost you it's going to cost you a 1 in 6 shot at immunity. So that's sort of like the trade-off there. It could be part of the new Survivor meta, and I'm pretty sure production is going to hate that.
They will.
They put it there. They put it there.
Yeah, but it's the survivors finding a way to use a game mechanic, or to abuse a game mechanic, quote unquote.
To break the game, as once upon an island would say.
Yeah, and it's great. I just have this feeling that they're going to tweak it in some way. That way, it can't be used as your none of the above vote, because for the first time in Survivor, you can choose not to vote, and that's a very like powerful move. Right? It can be a very powerful move in a social strategic game.
Yeah.
So that's just a high all around.
What about you, Mark? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, it can be used and abuse. It might be the new metagame. Maybe not. Maybe it's just Matthew who sees through it right now. Like this part. Maybe just a couple of people. And then eventually in the next few seasons, that's when production's going to pick it up. Like, okay, we're seeing a pattern here.
How would you change it, Martz? If you were production, how would you change it? Would you change it?
Well, it's too early to do it in the next season, so maybe the earliest I could do it is 46.
Wouldn't 45 and 46 see 44?
Oh, right. Yeah. If they see it and they change it.
No, not broad, but I mean, if you're if you're gonna be a player in season,
you'll
45,
see 44.
You will see that it can be a tactic. Now, if you were production, if you're Jeff Probst, how would you change it?
If at all,
if
they're smart enough, they'll take out the shot in the dark 45. If they're smart enough.
Okay.
But if it's only Matthew who did it this season, and not much people will say, he did it nice, but he did it early, episode 1. That's dumb. I'm not gonna do that. There's still a very small chance they'll abuse it, but not now. But if we see it in every other episode, fine.
Another way to like tweak it is instead of tweaking the mechanic itself, just make the tribes bigger. Because the reason it's so alluring to have a none of the above vote is because they start in such small tribes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? So like that's why it, I'm sure that in the last season, Cody would have wanted a none of the above vote when they voted out NECA, for example,
True. True.
right?
Uh-huh.
True.
So
That's
like
right.
in a small tribe, it becomes infinitely more powerful to be able to say, I'm not going to vote for anybody here because these are the people that'll potentially be with you in the merge down the line.
True. That is right. That is right. So
So a
bigger
bigger
tribes
tribe,
have like 8.
yeah,
But does that work with a 26-day timeline though? That's the thing.
they haven't tried. 2 tribes
They
of
can
9.
always try. Back to 2 tribes, you mean? Are you saying
Yeah,
back to
like
2
2
tribes?
tribes of 9.
2 tribes of
I like
9.
that.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Back to 2 tribes. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I
there
think
will
that
be space for a swap or, uh, some of
swap
that
or
some of that
mutiny
old
or
school stuff, yeah.
later on creation of the 3rd tribe at 5.
Yeah.
But I
So
think though that the producers are liking the fact that in the first episode 2 shot in the darks were played, whereas in previous seasons we hardly really saw anyone play the shot in the dark, right?
yeah. It just sucks that the first shot in the dark that actually hit was absolutely useless. in the last two seasons, we were like begging for the shot in the dark to work and to work well.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it did.
I mean, it
I'm quite
didn't.
happy.
What do you mean? It was absolutely useless. It nullified no
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah, but
The one that
it
hit.
finally worked.
Yeah, it finally worked, but it was useless though.
Yeah.
But,
I'll
or we
take
could
that
say it
nothing burger
worked.
any day.
I'm sorry.
Or we could say that it worked in a way that it wasn't intended to work.
Yeah,
that it wasn't
like-
intended for, which is also pretty good.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Like strategically, it didn't work for her, but
Mhm.
I'll take that nothing burger and say, hey, at least he wasn't voted out.
Because she
waste the
wouldn't have
shot,
gotten voted
but
out
it
anyway.
We finally got, how many seasons has it been since Shot in the Dark was there? 41, 42?
41. 41.
Yeah.
They added
Okay,
it
so
in
41,
New era.
2, 3, nothing. No one got a safe.
Mhm.
Finally, it took us 4 seasons to see that, okay, these guys aren't pulling our legs.
Mhm.
There is actually a paper that will say you're safe.
Mm. Yeah, in that sense, but it was a useless. It was a useless output. It was a useless
Yeah.
outcome.
I mean, Jamie
I'll still take it.
Jamie didn't need to play the shot in the dark,
Yeah.
but
And we have talked more about Jamie and her win in the shot in the dark than she appeared
Advancing
in this
her
episode.
game. Yeah.
well, anyway.
It's like
That's like,
it's like
alluding, foreshadowing my purple edit of the week.
Oh, I think we might have the same purples, but anyway.
Anyway, and what about you guys? What are your highs?
oh, well, highest. Let's get it out of the way. Carolyn survived this vote when she shouldn't have because someone was so stupid.
Okay, yeah. And let's talk about you're someone stupid later in the lows.
Oh,
because
man.
that's part of your lows. So you're high that Carolyn survived. Oh, that's a low.
I
for me.
think this is
Anyway.
like how Jamie was last episode. She got the safe, but it wasn't needed. But in this case, Carolyn was supposed to be the one out. However, something stupid happened, so she's safe. She's safe.
I'd like to think that I'd like to think that the internet is collectively giving her
Bad
no, like not as much credit as
Yeah,
I think she deserves, right?
She
Like,
deserves
she's,
to survive. Like,
Yeah, like
come on, guys.
I don't know, during that I don't know if she dumb lucked her way into it, right? Or if
I don't think
she's
so.
or if she is like self-aware enough to
Mm-hmm.
use this to her advantage. But what struck me during that Spider-Man meme scene where they were all like saying like
Yeah.
it was you, it was you, it was you. Oh, I'm
No
reading
one-
your body language, you whatever.
Right?
like she shows up and she's like, "Hi everybody, what's up? What's going on here?" And
So,
and nobody points the finger at her
yes. Yes. I mean,
because she's such a mess, right? So it's like
That's why
It's
she's one of
this
mine.
this is giving me Gabler putting palm
Gabler
fronds on
palm.
everybody
True.
vibes.
I
Huh.
was actually thinking that she is sort of, she fits that Gabler persona. The guy would
Yeah.
discount because they
He's
are
just dumbing it out there.
they're really crazy.
Yeah,
But
like
but the
Uh,
you know, I
problem
don't
is your
know.
research.
It's
yeah.
and you
And
can kind of see how the editors are trying to give her
balance. Yes.
it's quasi heroic moments if we're looking at if we're looking at those the story of right, you'll see hero on the bottom of the screen
Mhm.
while he's telling the story, while he's telling her story eventually, when um when she talks about things like the poop tooth and um
Is that a heroic thing?
Hey,
I
for
mean,
your kid it is.
you
For
can
your
see that
kid.
they're trying, right? You can see
Yeah.
that they're trying.
Right?
I said trying.
Try it.
Um,
Is it? Oh gosh.
it's
Okay.
funny. It's funny, but like the way that it's sort of the uh it's very postmodern in a way, right? Um,
Is this like
this is me using my college degree, right?
Yeah.
It's very
okay?
postmodern in a way because you're taking an absurd subject matter and forcing it into a sort of framework that is reserved for that which is heroic. You know, telling a story
Okay.
about your children and how you were trying to be a good mother and having, having like the picture of the kid, right? Like this is the sort of stuff that we have in the sob stories, but then you
Yeah.
take something as absurd as the poop tooth
The
and you
poop.
put that in as the subject matter. It creates all sorts of weird feelings.
Which now, since you're talking about postmodernism and the absurd, we can go to theater the absurd. This is like the leader stroking a fine hedgehog.
Sort of in a way, yeah,
In
like,
a way.
but then, it is it's trying to create a semblance of meaning out of that which is meaningless, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. That
Mhm.
that sort of absurdity, and I for one am here for it.
So, yeah. So
Well,
for me,
kudos to
I'll
her.
keep Carolyn's survival at a high because you mentioned it. No one pointed at her. It's like see Kaiser Soze her way out of that situation.
No, I just came from, I just watched the exit interview
Okay.
of Helen, and she said that part of the reason, at least for her, why they didn't even suspect Carolyn would have had it. Number one, during that scene where
Yeah.
all four of them left and Carolyn was left behind, there may have been something that with editing that happened there to make it
Oh,
seem as if the two events were closer than it seemed, than it
okay.
actually was. And then
Oh,
number two,
interesting.
the reason why they didn't suspect Carolyn in the finger pointing was that they determined that Carolyn was such an open, and because she's so wild and open and crazy, they determined that she gave out that persona, that they thought that if she had actually found
She would see it.
she would spill it. She would spill it.
Well, they didn't
So
expect that.
she
Like,
is hiding in plain
hmm,
sight.
Yeah,
yes.
that's when I started thinking, okay, she's coming up, she's coming off like like
uh,
a Gabler.
Yeah, so
But
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
change my opinion of her though. She's
It's
okay,
still
that's
it's
Debbie
cool.
for me. She's not a
That's
Gabler.
cool.
it's
But remember, Debbie lasted long as well.
Yeah, but she
So
was a Debbie.
yeah.
I
But
mean, like I said this
she
I
has
said this
game. She
last
has
week,
game,
right?
man.
I said this last week. She's not giving me winter vibes, but she's
Yeah.
giving me like she's gonna be there for a while vibes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then, like, who am I to speak? I picked Helen as my canonical winner pick. So,
I don't even have a winner pick here.
so Carolyn might be the
No,
ticket. I
isn't
don't
Carolyn
know.
your winner pick, Martin?
No, she's one of my favorites. He's like the ass man. I don't expect him to last long, yet he lasted long with my winner pick, Jesse, from last season.
Oh, okay.
So you know what?
Okay.
I feel bad. Let's do a winner pick, even though we're 2 episodes in. How
Yeah,
about
who's your
this?
winner pick?
I kind of like Jan Jan. There you go.
Jam Jam, you
Yam
mean?
Yam. Yeah, Yam Yam. Yam
Jam
Yam soup.
Jam.
Jam Jam. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
However you
okay.
say it.
All right. All right.
Carolyn even got like the mud shot.
Oh,
Yeah,
feces,
I
that's
saw
a
that.
winner at it. That's a
I saw that. But it didn't look like a Gabler mud shot. So not gonna change my opinion of her. She's a Debbie. She's not a Gabler. She's not a Mikey Gabler.
But
Right.
it really seems like the if the first 3 seasons are anything to go by, we shouldn't be sleeping on Carolyn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. That is
Because
true.
Don't
Though.
sleep on Carol.
right, because like the winners of the way the winners of the past 3 seasons have been edited, they were the ones that people kept on saying wouldn't be the winners, right?
Yeah.
Being
Hiding in plain
underestimated,
sight.
yeah.
There was Marianne, who was just Marianne,
Mhm.
and
And
Erica,
Erica.
who was so
Yeah.
sort
The
of
wolf
under the
in
radar
sheep's
winners in a
clothing.
way.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I
So
don't know.
yeah, we'll
Neither
see.
here nor there.
Maybe like by merge, she will emerge as like an she's actually been playing everyone. So that's when
Like a
your Kaiser
fiddle.
Soze thing comes into play, Martin, where
Maybe.
she's actually a
Maybe,
very
yeah.
strategic,
Just
very
strategic.
Maybe,
tactical
yeah.
player.
Maybe she's a snake. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh,
Cobra Kai. Cobra
yeah.
Kai.
Maybe she is like the sneaky little snake. Okay. All right. So my next high, of course, the what the title of this episode, the Dorky Magnets. I love their connection. They're just so wholesome. I
It
like it.
is.
It's cute. Martin doesn't like it. He only
Oh,
likes one
but
thing
if
about the Dorky Magnets.
but if I was in their tribe, I see that as two votes.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
you guys see that as two
Yeah,
votes?
we
Like
are, but
I'm
I'm not even
watching, I
thinking
like it, I
I'm not
love it.
thinking a
But
survivor. I'm thinking they're too cute.
so that means that
Dorks
won't
meeting
last
each other in
soon, man.
Survivor after one dork had just ended a long-term relationship. That's such a cute thing to happen.
It
Wouldn't you like
is.
to meet your special someone in Survivor, Martin?
It's
I
like
would like to meet
Christian
my special
Hib.
someone in Survivor.
I don't want to. I don't want to play Survivor. I just want to watch it.
You don't?
I don't like
Okay.
sand, man. I don't like sand.
Why?
Nor
Because
do I
it's
like the
rough.
beach.
Of course,
No,
it's
no.
rough. Gets everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
I'm
like
like
whoever.
Aranikin from Genshin Impact, or that guy who became Darth Vader, whoever the hell he is. Because we apparently dead named Anakin Skywalker when we saw Star Wars episodes 4 to 6 before episodes 1 to 3. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, I don't like sand. I'm sorry.
All right. But the Dorky Magnets, I love them. I love their connection. They're so cute. They're so
Yeah.
wholesome. Except for that, they're so wholesome except for that one thing that yeah,
Oh,
Matt
what's
said.
up?
He didn't. It's under.
Martin hasn't been listening.
Martin didn't listen. You finally got your euphemism, man.
Hmm.
You don't remember. You don't.
Well,
You don't remember
they were
hearing it.
building the shelter right
Yeah?
before she started snorting.
Yeah.
Oh, nah.
No.
I was
he,
focused on a few minutes later when one of their tribe mates got this thing in the cage,
He-
man. The masterful Danny. You know what I mean?
Okay, all
That
right,
was
all
that.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
All right,
All
all
right.
right.
Because just when you rewatch it, pay attention to that part of the
Okay.
episode because and it might come up as your high for next week.
Oh,
Yes.
shit. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only
Yeah.
thing is my only question though is does Franny feel the same way? It seems that she doesn't. She enjoys Matt's company,
Yeah.
but I think that Matt is in that space, when you've just broken up with someone and then you're like
Oh, yeah.
you're looking for companionship, you're looking for
Mhm.
connection, and he found it in Franny.
Franny.
Mm.
I don't know if Franny feels the same way that Matt does, Blanky does, about her. What do you guys think?
Well, who was talking with Franny about this relationship with her and Matt? Who's there?
That was Claire.
Claire. And what did Claire say to her?
That it might not be. I'm paraphrasing, but that it might not be good for her.
Yeah, so that's a tech investor talking to a research lady who's having this kind of friendship with a software engineer. You know what I mean? So one's thinking mostly about investing, long term, short term. That's gonna be
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Right,
I like where you're heading
Claire.
with this. Go
All right,
ahead.
let's follow
and
this.
Matt is already in a broken up relationship, so throw that out of the window. Franny's thinking of it as a research kind of way. So what's the hypothesis here? Do I just be friends with him, or do we hit it up like Boston Rob and Amber? A few episodes in, he becomes Boston Rob. I doubt he's gonna be. Does he have the swagger Boston Rob? I don't think so. He's more of like the Christian Hibiki type person. You're just gonna be friends. And who was the one in
Gabby
RHAP?
Pascuzzi.
Yeah, Gabby, who was like the co-host of Rob in this episode.
Yeah.
So I wish I had
Filipino
listened to that
represent.
episode.
Gabby
Right?
Pascuzzi.
Right?
Mm.
I think it's more gonna be like a Christian and Gabby in the long term.
Mhm.
Though we need something here to happen for them to do a Gabby Christian thing. And it has to be for Claire to be voted out. Because he's gonna be the monkey wrench there. And that's why I'm thinking this pair is not gonna last if Claire sees that and says, yeah, okay, either of you gotta go fast. Because that's not a good investment for the Green Tribe. If
Oh,
one of
wow.
them
I love
underperforms,
how Martin like went
that's
into
like
their
that like
occupations.
that is like something that's a very that's not a bear economy. That's gonna go for the down term.
Mhm.
And that's not good for the Green Tribe.
And that is why Martin is the man with the thoughts, because he
Yeah.
thinks of these things, using their occupations to explain why the dorky magnets thing is not a good thing for either Franny or Blanky. That is so cool.
If Claire's gonna stay. But if they can keep that together as a unit,
Mhm.
good for them. But that's a high risk, high reward thing.
Mm.
Mostly leaning on risk. And I think guys like, Claire and Daddy are too smart for them to be kept there in the same tribe. Unless there's a swap, those two are gonna be dead in water soon.
Mm.
Which
Well,
sucks. Which sucks.
so this is for our predictions section later.
Section later.
Martin is saying that
It's
Either
cute.
Claire
he
goes.
will not have them.
They gotta go.
This is interesting. This is super interesting. Admittedly, I don't really like showmances.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't quite I'm not a Big Brother fan.
Okay.
Did
Okay,
I just
yeah,
throw
okay.
shade at Big Brother? But like if there's something that this is, if there's something that's going to sort of if there's something that's going to shed light on, this thing is going to shed light on, is how the showmans works in the new era,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? Like, is this something that we're going to be like, this must be broken up? Is it one of those things where two game bots, right, but when two super fans of the game come together, they can sort of come to the agreement that like, yeah, we're totally into each other. After the game we should go like on a date and stuff, but while we're
for
within
now-
the game, like
Okay.
we can Shannon Ricard it and just sort of turn on each other when the time is right. Like,
Mm.
how does this all work in the quote unquote new era of Survivor? So that's something I'm looking forward to with
See
this.
it's laid out.
Yeah, to see how this plays out. It's just really sad that that Matt Lutt has lost his dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the way they led into it, the way the storytelling sort of led into it was just like absolutely masterful.
Yeah.
Like they first try to soften your heart with, like he's talking about his dog, oh, and then we're brought into his heartbreak, and we
So
see the
who
light
has
at
the
the end
dog?
of the tunnel for him. Like it's it was within that like hour-long episode, you have a little mini arc there, right?
Mhm.
Which was, and given how much time they spent on all of that birdcage stuff,
This was
it's
this was
nice.
sort of like plot B, right? You
Yeah,
got story
yeah.
A, which is the birdcage, and you've got story B, which is the dorky magnets.
Yeah, and like sort of uh, the economy of it, like how they were able to use the time to
Yeah.
express so much and so little. It's
Exactly.
it's like poetry. Ooh. Each word pregnant with meaning.
Yes, of course.
When Martin watches the episode again and he remembers that I said pregnant with meaning, he's
Especially at that specific part. All right. What about you? What are your other highs?
Well, let's go can we like stick to the green tribe and let's talk about
Any highs that you've got?
okay. So Danny, like it's just like what Carolyn did, but no one noticed there's a change in the swinging or there's something, that's gone from the the packet, right?
Yeah.
That was quite like masterful of Danny. And
Yeah.
To solid snake everything, just like the other tribe did.
Yeah.
Props to him. Props to him. And I hope he keeps it that way, that he keeps it from himself, because he's in a more dangerous position with that tribe if he tells it to them, because I think these guys are smarter than the other tribe. Because we'll go to the
Ooh, that's a
lows on
shade at
Carolyn's
Carson.
tribe. Yeah.
That is a shade at Carson, the rocket, the kid studying to be a rocket scientist.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist, apparently, right?
I'm sure Tony would have done better.
Tony would have done better. Tony would have probably taken out the bottom without needing a key, right?
Yep.
And
Oh no, I'm talking about the ability to read people when they're lying.
Carson.
Oh, okay.
Carson.
Okay. Yeah.
But going back to Martin's high.
Danny, about Danny.
About Danny. Well, it's something that I also have as a high, sort of tangentially. I like how the birdcage played out in different ways.
Exactly.
And right, and seeing sort of act one of this birdcage saga, the opening, let's call it, right?
Yeah.
Birdcage, the opening. Seeing three different like beginnings in three different ways was so much better than anybody could have ever imagined, right? We get to see three different variations, one where everybody knows, one where people have incomplete information, and one where like there is nobody that knows, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing this progress in three different, well, granted the first one was a sort of one and done, right? But we get to see three different ways that this birdcage mechanism is working, and I'm totally here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the masterful way that Danny was able to pull everything off. And in the spirit of us finding quotes that should have been the title, I got a quote from Danny: "Scared money don't make
no money."
That would have been a better title, given that they focused a lot on on the birdcage.
That was something that I also have here as well.
Right.
Like, should have been the title: "Scared money don't make no money." And it also works with Carolyn finding the idol.
Yeah.
Remember, she didn't have to climb up the tree, but she climbed up the tree, and she encountered a snake. Right? She was visibly scared, and it was in that sequence that she ended up finding the key to the birdcage. Right? So we have that parallel as well, right? Like, she is scared. She is taking those risks, right? And you're getting rewarded for those risks.
Exactly.
So I'm with you. That probably should have been the title: "Scared money don't make no money."
It sounds like a nice rap
CBS,
album too.
Yeah, CBS. You know what you should do? You should like finish editing your episodes, send it to us, and we'll give you the title.
unless this two dorky magnets thing is going to pay off bigger later on.
But I mean, for the episode.
But for the episode itself,
yeah, it's off. It's like I said, it's the B story. It's not the A story. The A story really was the birdcage, and also not just that, the idols, and the fact that the fake idols of each birdcage is a replica of the real idols in the other bird cages.
Yes, that's amazing. That is amazing. So there's
So
confusion.
when you come up with the idol, with a fake idol, and you're with a member of the other tribe, they will think that it's a real idol. Because it's their immunity idol.
Guys, think about it. If someone from Soka, for some reason, gets the key as well, and gets the fake Soka idol, oh my god. This is gonna be nice.
This brings up a question about that was brought up in Australian Survivor.
Okay.
because there was this whole thing about the cookie idol, and the cookie idol didn't have paperwork,
Mm.
Oh.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
right? And when they open up the bag, when somebody from Green Tribe opens up the bag and finds what was it? Was it the coin that was there? But whatever their fake idol is, right? And they find it without paperwork,
Mm.
they might be suspicious. Or the other option is to take some paperwork and
Mm-hmm.
take the paperwork and put it back in with the fake idol, make another fake idol. That way, like, oh, here is the idol and here is a
Oh,
fake idol.
I think that there's two separate pieces of paper.
Oh yeah.
There's the paper that confirms that
Oh.
the whatever the idol really was is the hidden immunity idol, and then there's a smaller piece of paper that says also contained is a coin or whatever, another idol. You can
Oh, so
it does have power.
it's a separate sheet of paper.
I think so because if because I did a rewatch just a couple of hours ago, uh Danny actually eats a piece of paper, but he still had a piece of paper on his in his hand.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's from the next
So
time on, right?
yeah, yeah.
All right. So, but that's sort of the question that I have, right? Like, if they put paperwork in with the fake idol,
Mhm.
what does that do to your idol? If
Yeah, because I
Australian
think
Survivor is telling
yeah,
us that paperwork makes the idol.
yeah. I'm guessing that the paperwork gives the real idol the power, but apart from it, it doesn't really have any power. So even if you
Okay.
pair it up with a fake idol, it does not give that fake idol any power. Sort of like if you have like two items that have chemical components that make each other active. Sorry, that
Yeah.
make that this one needs this one to become active. But once it has imparted that chemical
Right.
to the other, it no longer has any power
Oh.
to make anything
Yeah.
else active.
Yeah. So you don't have to be in possession of the paperwork,
The
I guess.
paperwork, I don't think so.
Is what is
Yeah.
what our theory is.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And the fake paperwork and the paperwork doesn't give power to the fake idol, I
To the fake
assume,
idol.
as well, because that would be pretty dumb.
Yeah, because I
Um
mean, what if I had like I make up my own fake idol and I have the paperwork, right? So
yeah,
those so
yeah,
that
true,
that
true.
gives that so you can mass produce idols
Oh
if
my
that's the
god.
case, right?
New Survivor meta.
I think this is a meta the producers are just gonna allow just to make confusion and but how would Jeff know that's
I'm guessing that I mean there's a distinctive
design?
portion of the fake idol or the real idols that
Okay.
are similar. Like one is a coin, one is a string of beads. I forgot the other. I don't
Yeah.
remember the third one.
Yeah, it's the no,
But there is a distinctive piece
the color.
of the idol.
Okay.
The color.
Yeah, and yeah, but that's how he would know. If
Yeah.
say for
Yeah,
example,
Jeff.
the orange tribe, it's the coin with the orange. That's what makes it the real idol. If it's
Yeah.
anything else, it's a fake idol.
Oh.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
the color of the beads. If it's this color, then it's real. If it's that other color, it's fake, right?
The one
Yeah.
that Danny got, the fake idol, it doesn't have any color, right?
And I'm not sure. I didn't quite
I
take
don't
a good
remember
look at it.
either.
But yeah, the fake one in his possession is the coin, I think.
Yeah, and he kept it in the cage.
Yeah, he put it back in the cage.
Okay.
Not like what your winner pick, even though you won't admit it, Carolyn did.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, that's my high, Danny. The good play, Danny. Good play.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So
Oh, so yeah.
I just opened up a post on our Survivor. Brandon opens the cage and finds two separate idols. One, a classic Survivor bead string, which is the idol, and the
Mhm.
other idol, a beautiful orange medallion. So the medallion is the orange medallion is one that
Orange.
Brandon got as the fake.
Oh, okay. That's the real
Danny
idol for
opens
him.
the real idol is the beads.
Mhm.
The fake one is the medallion.
Because Carolyn's
Wait,
is the
Danny
medallion.
opened the Green Tribe's cage and received a real idol, the
Mhm.
green medallion, and the fake idol, a silver coin tied to
There,
a
okay.
string.
Silver coin's
And
the fake.
Carolyn opens up the Purple Tribe and finds the real idol, a silver coin, and the fake idol, a bead string.
Yeah.
So
So
it's the
it's like
color. It's the color that's going to let
Jeff know that which one
Jeff
is the
know
real
that
one.
this is real or fake. Yeah.
Okay. That's good then. At least the host won't be confused.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got like cheat
A
sheet
guide.
telling
Yeah.
which one is which,
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's good.
So
right?
anyway,
Or the producers will tell him right
Yeah. Hey,
before they'll edit
that's
it
fake.
in, or they'll
while we're
like
on the
give a
topic of
sign
idols,
like, yeah, that's a real idol. Yeah.
while we're on the topic of idols, one of my highs is that the idols aren't so public this season.
Oh my God. Yeah.
For now,
For now.
Right.
for now, like we're getting, we're getting that line from Danny that was like really funny when he said like I can't wait to tell everybody, like my heart skipped a beat.
Yeah.
And it's like
Nah.
just kidding, like
I gotta tell them.
yeah.
Yes, finally.
Right. And Carolyn also did the same thing, right? Like not going to tell anybody about the idol. So it's like
Yeah.
this is
Progress.
this is a high, right? Because like
Finally.
everybody, we were,
People are playing.
yeah, we were so tantalizingly close to having like an idol that nobody really knew about last season with Carla's idol. But then we subsequently found out that she told
Oh,
Cassidy.
Cassidy,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? So like, okay, all right, and maybe that was what she felt was the best, or what she thought would be the best decision for her game in the moment. But right now, at least we're getting confirmation that they haven't told anybody, because with Carla, we never got any confirmation that she didn't tell anybody, right?
True.
All we had was her not appearing to have told anybody, but that was like within the edited show.
Yeah.
At least here we have confirmation that it's part of the game plan not to tell anybody.
That's right.
So that's
good. For me, that's good for the show.
yeah.
Good for the show. People are playing. They're not. It's not a kumbaya thing where everyone knows everything.
Yeah. It's holy crap, Baya.
Yeah.
Hoboken Mike.
Yeah, and you guys already talked about this a little bit a while ago, but I do think that the finger pointing and Tika, the purple type, that was fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
It was fun to watch because it was funny to watch because everyone got everything wrong, right?
I'm gonna have to push back on that a little bit. I'm gonna have to push
Okay.
back on that a little bit. Jam Got it right.
Did-
He was wrong about which idol, but he was right that Sarah had something.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
But I
True.
suspect, right? I suspect that like Sarah hid the inheritance advantage in her bra,
In her
and
boobs.
while everybody was talking about searching each other's bags or whatever, she was checking to see if her inheritance advantage was still there.
Oh, did she?
I mean, that's my theory.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
All right.
That's my theory. So without getting it right, Jam got it right.
I see. Oh, that's yeah. I didn't. But yeah. For the purpose of discussing just the idol, who got the idol or who opened the cage, yeah. So they got
Yeah,
it
it
wrong.
was hilarious.
It was hilarious to see, like, oh, she's got her arms crossed. She's hiding something. And
I mean, like, yeah,
then-
of course it is Survivor. Everybody's hiding
yeah,
something.
I know. It's
Like
funny.
that's telling that's like that was that's what I would like that if I wasn't watching in front of my wife. No, I would have been yelling. I would have been yelling at the TV. Of course, Carson. Of course, she's hiding something. You're playing Survivor, bro.
and also going back to the exit interview of Helen, what was running through her head at that time was, because she knew that she didn't have the idol. or she knew that she didn't get to open the cage, what was running through her head was that she was getting scared. Actually, she was scared because she thought that either Carson or Sarah already got what is inside, and they were supposedly a type 3,
Mm.
but they didn't tell her about it. So that's what was going
Uh,
through her head. That's why she was pensive and had her arms crossed and was thinking like, right. And then Carson just went ahead and misinterpreted that. Our dear boy Holland Carson.
he's so young.
Yeah.
He's so young.
On one side you've got Blankenship, who has gone through a relationship, and then on the other side you've got Carson, who's never been in a relationship. Okay. Other highs, guys.
This one could either be a low or a high.
Mhm.
So we can like use that to transition into our lows if you guys don't have anything
Oh,
else.
I still do have one more.
All
Okay.
What
right.
about you, Marts? Do you still have
None.
highs? Okay.
Those are
For me,
high.
I'll just go with my high. I did like the fact that Matthew pulled off the win in the immunity challenge because he has a replica of the thing
Oh
in
god.
his
Yeah,
backyard.
Yeah.
Right? How
Uh,
dedicated is Matthew to doing well in Survivor, man?
look, Carson also has those 3D printed.
Yeah, but I appreciate Matthew being open with it more than Carson hiding it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is this as a viewer or as
As a
somebody that
viewer, as a
would
viewer,
because
as someone who, if I were in among the tribes, I probably would paint a target on the back of Matthew, because okay, this guy means this guy is playing,
yeah,
right? The things that Carson said would probably get in my head. I'd probably be thinking that too. But yeah,
yeah,
as a viewer, wow, kudos to you, man. That
yeah.
is dedication to doing well in Survivor.
As a fan of the game, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
But as the the downfall of Evie from 41
Mm.
was when she solved that puzzle in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was like, "Yeah, I like made this with whatever I had lying around the house, and I memorized the puzzle and all of that." And
Yeah.
like, I don't know, that's at least to me, right? And the way I remember this season, that was the beginning of her downfall.
Yeah. Yeah, because people started thinking, okay, she's serious about this. She
Yeah.
is not
It's
here for
legit.
the experience, like most of us, and so we have to take her out.
Yeah. So as a game move, a bit of a blunder,
Mm.
but
Uh-huh.
as like a Survivor fan, oh my
Oh,
god, that's amazing.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Exactly.
That is just I don't know the dedication, you know,
Yeah.
as
So
you were
yeah, go
saying.
ahead with your high that can also be a low.
Um, Survivor, I'm noticing has what I'd like to call like soft cliffhangers.
Soft cliffhanger.
Yeah, soft cliffhangers. Like last episode, it was did Matthew play his shot in the dark as a strategic move? Or,
Mhm.
you know, there's a little bit of information that's missing out, context around what happened in Final Tribal that we don't get until the beginning of the next
The next one.
week's
Yeah.
episode, right? Like in this episode, I would say that the soft cliffhanger is the question: why did Carson vote for Helen?
Mm.
I think that's the question that's coming. You know, that needs the most clarification for us to understand what happened in
Yeah.
tribal council,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's
I'll allude once again to Helen's exit interview to answer that, kind sir. Because apparently it was common knowledge that Sarah lost, did not was not gonna be able to vote.
mm,
So given that it's a 3-2, right? And
it would have been a
then
2-2 split,
it's
and they
gonna be
would
a
have
2-2
done
split.
the
It
high
we go
Daniel
back
thing.
to which season? Last season.
Yeah, yeah.
Carson didn't
High
want to
and
go to
Daniel.
Rocks. Carson
Yeah,
didn't want to go to Rocks.
yeah. So like then so it sets up a soft cliffhanger, which hopefully is answered by the beginning of next episode for the people that don't consume all of the other media. And I'm getting to
Yeah.
that, which is why I think it's a bit of a high, or which is why I think it's one of the reasons
It's a
I think
nice
it's
thing
a high.
that they're doing. Yeah.
Right, like, first it's a high because it's better than the stupid hourglass cliffhanger. Like, that was the dumbest thing that I remember, like,
Well, that set
watching.
up the path for Erica to win.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean it had to be good TV, right? um, we were supposed to feel a little bit of closure, right?
Mm.
It's um it allows us to give the episode some sort of closure, but at the same time there's something that's sort of a taste of
Yeah.
so something that's supposed to bring us in
Yeah.
next week. But
More than
then
the red herrings that come from the next week
next
on
yeah,
Survivor.
right?
Right.
But then the other reason that it's a high is like last season, something that we were talking about was the sort of meta Survivor, or the Survivor verse, that like all of the media outlets and like all of us aren't necessarily just fans of Survivor, but we are part of Survivor, right? And if we look
Yeah.
at Survivor as, not only the TV show, but sort of all of the information that we have about the players on the island, then all of a sudden all of our analysis and all of the exit interviews that sort of shed a little bit of light on the things that we would have wanted to have light shed on, well, it becomes part of what is Survivor.
Yeah.
And so like Helen's exit interview, that sort of added that additional context, gave a little bit of sort of that put a little bit of shed a little bit of light on the situation, becomes part of Survivor. And in a manner of speaking, we've become canon to the show, right? The podcasts, the YouTube videos are canon to the show.
Oh, how I wish we are canon to the show.
If anybody wants to guest on the Council of Titos, Erica, baka naman.
Erica, baka naman. Justine, we'd be happy to have you.
Yeah, man. My canonical
Gabby Pascuzzi. That would be nice.
And so, yeah, the soft cliffhanger. But that, like, the other thing that makes it so interesting to me is the questions that we have lingering at the end of the episode cannot be definitively 100% answered by the exit interviews, because we're still looking at an unreliable narrator.
Exactly.
Because the only person, the only person that can tell us why Carson didn't vote for, or why Carson voted for Helen is Carson.
Is Carson,
right? That's right. That's the only way that we can sort of get it 100%. But we do have the exit interviews, which can sort of point us in that direction, or it's sort of like a little bit of an asymptotic line, right? Like, asymptotic towards the answer. So, we can form our theories, but it doesn't actually resolve until the end. But then there was that thing about Janine, like Janine's idol, for example. Right? Janine's idol, was it still in the game, or did Dwight go out with it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We didn't really quite know, not until
Jesse pulled it out of his pants.
Pulled it out. Yeah.
So
as you said. Yeah.
I'm
thinking that they got lessons from that. Right? They picked up, they saw that was a nice way of maybe revealing something later on.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't remember. I don't know. Our historian here, has that ever been done, Marts? Like where they planted something only aside from last season. They planted an idea and then later on paid it off.
You mean like the Russell seed?
What Russell seed?
Like in Samoa, he claims that he has put a seed or planted it in his fellow players.
From the show point of view. Not from a Survivor tactical point of view.
Huh.
No, not to your
I don't
recollection.
know. Not to my immediate recollection. I'm thinking
Okay.
of
If you
player to
guys know
player.
in the comments,
Yeah.
you can just let us know that you know
Right. So
better
like,
than the Titos. Yeah.
yeah, where something was obviously set up
Mm-hmm.
to be paid off in the next episode. Like we know that this is going to resolve next episode
Yeah.
because there are other things that like we set up in the show, but we don't know that they're actually being set up. You know, like
Yeah.
perhaps like uh the sitting out thing. Like is that a volunteer or a tribe decision? Both,
Both.
right? Like that isn't something that needs to be resolved immediately,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's something that could be a plan for resolution later on,
Mm-hmm.
that sheds light later on, or you know, another example of things that are planted early on that are paid off later would be like fire. When when somebody in the tribe is the one that makes fire, that
Mm-hmm.
usually has its payoff in the fire making, right? Like
Is
there's that,
Heidi gonna win in the final four with
right?
fire?
Right. So the soft cliffhanger is something that is set up and demands resolution immediately, or it leaves a very strong sort of lingering question, which is for the reasons that I mentioned is quite the high, but at the same time it's just so annoying.
Why? And with that, let us go ahead to our lows. And why do you think it's a low?
Oh,
It's kind of annoying because we don't get resolution. And in the past, Survivor has kind of been like it's kind of been a one shot,
Mm-hmm.
or it's sort of like I understand that like comic books, we need like the perpetual state of second
Yeah.
act for the duration of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but um even even the end of like comic book runs, leave us with closure.
Mm.
And setting up the next story happens on a separate panel, like right at the very end. It's, and even in trade paperbacks, right? Like they
oh
sometimes
yeah.
just cut out that last that last panel that sets up the next storyline.
Yeah.
So like there is merit to
It's like your MCU mid credits scenes. Yeah.
Ah.
but yeah, like it feels like there's something lacking in the episode,
Mm.
you know it's it doesn't feel good to be
Mm.
in um it doesn't feel good to be what feels like in a perpetual state of second act,
Mm.
right? Because in previous seasons each episode has felt complete,
It was self contained for the most part. Yeah.
right? Like the stories that ended, they ended. you know like they were set up in the episodes before, and like there was um hopefully a satisfying conclusion,
Mm.
right? So um it just doesn't feel good. Like while I can see the merit to it, how it makes for it makes next week's episode more compelling, and it gives the opportunity for all of the fans, the subreddit, and all of the podcasts and videos and whatnot to be part of the conversation, dare I say even canon to the show. It just doesn't
Mhm.
feel good.
Okay, I can understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I do see that. Like, yeah, I mean, make self-contained episodes basically, right? And then just put it in. I don't know how you can do it as part of next week on Survivor.
Survivor.
I don't know how you can put those details, those tiny details in the postscript though.
There was a suggestion. I can't remember which of the podcasts it was, but
Mm.
one of the podcasts had the suggestion that you give confessionals at the while the credits are running,
Oh.
right? Instead of taking the time to do those gratuitous slow-mo shots of
Yeah.
Fiji,
Mhm.
like take those few extra seconds to have like a confessional of Carson saying like, "Oh yeah, this is because we knew that Sarah had the vote." Blah 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 blah.
Isn't
So,
supposed to? Yeah, isn't that supposed to be what the? Oh, because it's played
She
over
wagered
the
and
final
lost.
testimonial, the final confessional of the one voted out.
yeah,
But sometimes they do that, right? Where the person voting, the audio of the person voting is actually there. But I
yeah.
don't know if Carson explained
I
during.
haven't I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
The like
the they say something while
yeah,
they
because
vote.
I think that
yeah
they're required to say something,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do.
right?
They used to actually release them all like
Yeah, in a
online.
YouTube or
Yeah,
something,
Mm,
but
right?
like they're not releasing. This was way back in the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They stopped releasing them in like the 20s, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but sometimes they still. I mean,
They
during
do
that
that
final
sometimes.
confessional, they still play it. They play it, and sometimes they do plug in the audio of the voter.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this would have been a nice
Time.
time for them to plug in Carson's audio while he was seen voting.
yeah.
Oh well.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that, or maybe just the next time on Survivor, and then they show like that first they
Well,
show that first
The coming from tribal.
yeah, that, or maybe they could just tack that on to the end. I don't know,
Mm,
but like that's the way that I guess it could make it feel more complete.
yeah.
So
yeah.
like as of right now, the episodes feel like Matt feels at the beginning of the season, incomplete without his puppy.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a very good and valid low. Marts, what about you? What's one of your lows?
Um, Carson. Like
Mm-hmm.
seriously. Oh, I read the body language. It must be her.
That makes for great TV
Yeah.
because
But
we
why
like to
not
see
why not
young
Jam
people
Jam?
fail.
Hmm? Because
Why not?
yeah, we,
Mm.
Zhao just pointed it out clearly that at least Yan Yan or Jan
Jam
Jan,
Jam. It's
Jam
Jam
Jam,
Jam.
oh Jam Jam, had had a tell because the one he was looking at actually had an advantage.
Mm.
Helen does not. Oh dear
Okay.
God, dear God, Carson, that was a bad take, bro. But now,
Yeah,
like I mentioned earlier in the highs, like there's already a duo in the Green Tribe. There's already a duo in Carson's tribe, and he hasn't seen it yet. Like, okay, maybe Helen can be a threat, but that's not the immediate threat. And you forgot to take out the immediate threat. So it's a bit of an annoying thing because yeah, maybe Joel would be happy if Carolyn was voted out, but she's not. She hasn't yet. She hasn't
Yeah,
yet. Right?
I wouldn't. I
Would have
honestly, I
been
wouldn't really care if she was
yeah.
voted out or not. Yeah,
Like
it's just that she does not appeal to me. She's
yeah.
because I get so much Debbie vibes from her, and I did not that
Same.
yeah Debbie I did not
Mhm.
like.
Because for me, my first time with Debbie was good. Second season with Debbie, yeah,
Nah, from the
it
get
got.
go, I was already like, no, there's this. She's irritating. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah,
Some another person I find
Carson.
do irritating though is from this season
Yeah.
is Claire. The
Oh
one that
yeah,
you've
the
said
green truck. Yeah.
the chief laziness are. I mean, what the hell?
No,
Uh,
no, that's like no. So if they see right through that and she gets taken out, cool.
I
The
mean,
duo,
what is there to see through? She's lazy.
nothing. Yeah.
She's opted out of 2 challenges already. She's lazy. I'm guessing she's trying to. Did she say? Do you guys know in the pre-game in the preseason if she said that she wants to follow Sandra? Because
She's
that's
the new
actually what Sandra
Sandra
did,
Bench. She's
is
it's now
that I don't remember. Let's look.
right? Because that
because if
that might be
makes sense.
an explanation for
Yeah,
that, but
because
I mean, she's a VC.
She isn't
I,
doing a very good job because I remember like she said that You know, she listens to pitches now. It's her time to make a pitch. She isn't making a very strong pitch yet. But we're not sure. Let's see who previous player are you most like? She identifies most with Michelle Fitzgerald.
Oh, Michelle
She-
ain't lazy.
No, Michelle
But
was a
she
fighter.
thinks, yeah, she thinks she'll play the most like, and this is, I don't think it is either. Natalie Anderson in Blood versus Water. She doesn't take
What?
bullshit. But, you
Natalie's a hard worker.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it's
both of those are fighters.
Yeah. But then
I guess
again,
I guess it shows that she isn't as self-aware, perhaps, you know.
yeah,
Or,
and then again,
maybe she was lying in her pregame. She's like,
Yes,
yeah, maybe I want
yes.
to be Sandra Diaz fine. I want to be, you know, the queen,
Yes,
right?
the queen.
Anyway.
because the queen stays queen. But remember, like when they're asked about these questions, most of them are. Is he a super fan first and foremost?
They all are.
Most of them already are.
Then they won't do the stock answers of, "Oh, I want to be like Parvati. Oh, I want to be like Colby or Rob." No, they'll talk about someone inane like Alex Vander.
No, but
Beek
she
or,
said, I
you
mean, the
know,
two people that she said that she's likely to play like is a winner, Natalie, and the other
And
one that she
is a winner too.
Yeah,
Michelle.
Michelle's also a winner. Those are both
Yeah.
winners.
Those are like
How
stock
less of
answers
a
for a
target does that
new.
paint on her back compared to saying that she wants to play like Sandra Diaz Twine?
Yeah, if she's like a fan, that's like a stock answer of a recruit. Especially in this new era, when you think about it.
What
That's
is
like the
Michelle?
new Parvati, and that's the new Sandra. Basically.
Who's the biggest super fan in the
Yeah.
who do you
In this
think is the
season?
biggest super fan in the season, Marts? Like who's
I'm
yeah.
I think
thinking it
it's
would be
Carson,
Matt.
but no doubt.
But nah, Carson sucks, man.
Sorry,
We just
Matt
own Carson
and
now. Who is sorry,
Carson.
Carson.
Let's test
Carson.
Martin's theory.
Okay, let's
Let's
see
test
who's
Martin's
Carson.
theory.
Carson's
Who did
answers.
he say that he wanted
Here?
to
This-
play the most like? Or
This is a super fan answer.
She identifies most with Christian,
With Christian
Hibiki.
Hibiki. There, that's a super fan.
yeah.
On the David
Hmm.
tribe. See, that's how you answer as a super fan, not like Michelle Fitzgerald. You know, the least popular winner. Sorry, Survivor Philippines group that seems to love Michelle. Sorry.
I love Michelle.
Sorry, Joel. Sorry, Joel. But sorry to our group. Sorry to our group.
But yeah, I mean, I can totally see why Carson would identify with Dr. Hibiki.
Yeah. Because he's
Right.
like skinny and smart and he had to
He's
bulk
not
up.
skinny anymore. He's 145
Yeah.
pounds.
But he used the brain to be, not
Yeah.
the skinny on the way
But
out.
then it shows sort of self-awareness. It shows self-awareness.
And which we
Um,
have established is a very important thing to
Yeah.
have in this era of Survivor.
Let's see who Matt Blankenship says.
Wow, okay. This is a very, very
Yule
mixed
and the-
and Marianne.
Marianne, yeah. Interesting.
See? I would have
Yeah.
expected a Yule, yeah, but wow, Marianne.
I think
What's-
he identifies with Yule because Yule was the one who opened the doors for
fellow
Asian Americans to
Yeah.
become
That's
part
good.
of Survivor.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
of
That's
that.
right.
Okay.
Very well.
All right. Before we get
After
into
that
that rabbit
sidetrack.
hole,
Sidetrack. But yeah, damn it, Carson, you dropped the ball in this episode.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
he
Carson.
did. That's all I can say.
He did drop
Carson.
the ball.
Yeah. Showing his age? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Is this
Just
his
showing a little bit of hubris.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
hubris?
Yeah.
Hubris. He
not
doesn't
too
have
much
the
hubris.
doesn't have the wisdom of
Yeah.
years.
Of
Yeah.
hubris.
You know.
He's not like a Tito, no? A Tito, even though us
Yeah.
Titos, we still make mistakes reading people. But yeah. More,
Speaking
more
of
other-
people reading people, speaking of mistakes reading people,
Oh, yes.
Oh.
my canonical winner pick.
Oh.
No.
Thanks a lot, Carson.
Thanks a lot, Carson.
Yet another
I should-
point against Carson.
I should look at who I said was definitely not going to win this season, because at this point, like, my track record seems to show that, like, it's never who I think
Oh.
it's ever going to be, right?
But the
Because,
thing
like,
is,
last
Why?
Joe,
You thought
given
Gabler
that Carson is the one who got Helen voted out, is he now your canonical pick?
see that's what I wanted to like
like
uh,
Jesse
put
was your
out-
canonical pick.
My canonical winner
he-
pick was Justine,
Mhm.
Yeah, who was taken out by
By Jesse.
Jesse.
who?
And so Jesse
was
became my
pick?
canonical
Who's
winner
my-
pick, right?
who's my
So
Taken
like
out by the alligator.
yeah,
and so
right?
yeah, and so at that point and then at that point the alligator became my canonical winner pick, which means I was able to get it in 3.
I'm just gonna stick to one, guys. I'm sorry.
That's I mean like that's how I'm going to be like scoring, right? I got it. I'm going to be able to
Mhm.
like I got it last time I got it in 3.
Okay, because this is like the
Um,
Jerry Lawler kind of prediction. Like his favorite in Royal Rumble enters, and then he gets eliminated, and then the guy who eliminates him is the next to be. Sorry if I'm going pro wrestling here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, like
let's
the-
get it right.
That's because we're Titos. We talk about all of
Yeah.
these other things. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's basically
I
that's
like that.
Zhao's
I like it. I'm not bragging
line
on
of
it.
thinking,
It
which is
reminds
not
me of the
wrong.
Jerry Lawler kind of school of thought, which is
yeah.
cool. But
Season 41, I got it in 1.
yeah,
Mm,
see,
yeah,
got
because
it
we
right.
all were rooting. Because
by
Oh,
default,
really?
by default, by default.
which Filipino wouldn't root for the Filipino?
And then
Gotta
with
root for the queen.
in 42, it was
Ah,
I think I got it in 4. maybe?
You went with high, right?
Yeah, I can't remember my score there, but
Yeah.
like yeah, last season I got it in 3, and now I'm off to a terrible start again.
my pick in 42 lost. He was Mike. He was Mike.
So, question to the Titos:
Okay.
was it do we give Carson credit for taking out Helen?
I'll give it more to Jan and Carolyn.
Jam.
Jam. Yan.
Jam.
Those guys. Because they saw her as a threat too. Had Carson only voted for Helen, he would have been voted out.
Why?
Because that would have been a 2-on-1-on-1. Because it was
Why
either
would
Carson or
why would he get voted out?
which is weird, right?
Why would he
'Cause
get
I don't
voted
think
out,
he
though?
would be voted out.
No,
But
why
there
would why
have
would
been
he
a
get
chance.
voted out?
If
The-
for
I
some
think I would-
reason
Yeah, go ahead.
they would like Helen to stay more, which is a bigger problem for them because she seems to be onto those guys more than Carson is onto those guys.
They would have gone to Rocks. They would have gone to Rocks.
Yeah, that's the
Rocks.
thing. It would have
Oh,
gone to Roxy.
Okay.
Would have gone to Rocks because there were only 4 votes in play,
Yeah.
right?
Ah,
Because Sarah didn't have a vote, so there were only 4 votes in
4
play.
votes.
They
So
wouldn't
that
have been
is
able to
Jan.
switch their votes because they would only have known who Carson voted for at Tribal.
A tribal.
So that's why I'm actually giving credit to Carson for voting Helen out. He probably did see that. I mean, rocket
She
scientist
is a
in
threat.
training that he is.
Mhm.
He probably did see that it was going to go to Rocks, and just like I don't remember what his
Oh.
name was from last season, he did not
Okay.
want to go to Rocks, right?
All
Or
right.
from 2 seasons ago, he
Daniel?
did not want to
Daniel?
go
Was it
to
Daniel?
Rocks. I'm
I
sorry,
think so. It was Daniel.
Daniel?
Daniel.
Yeah.
There you go.
They
He
got
did not
pissed off
want to
at
go to
Daniel.
Rocks, so he voted with the majority.
And
The 2 that
we
he
lost.
knew were solid in voting someone else
Ah,
out.
And
He
we
knew
lost
that
Jenny.
Sarah didn't have a vote, and he knew that Jam and Carolyn were voting for
will be
Helen.
voting as a unit.
He could have
Okay.
done a Matthew and played a shot in the dark
Ooh.
to avoid voting.
Hmm.
Right? If he had known that's what
Yeah, that word.
Matthew did.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So if this is confirmed in the night sequence at the end of next
At the
episode,
start.
then
At the next
yeah.
episode.
yeah, at the start of the next episode, then this means Carson is now my canonical winner pick.
Mm.
Otherwise, it is either Jam or Carolyn.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's go, Carol.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna write that down.
Okay. Harsh, Jam or Carolyn?
If confirmed,
Yeah, while
then-
Zhao is writing that down,
Yeah.
for me, okay, so you guys have been high on this. I'm going down. I'm noting this down as a low. The Tika birdcage situation.
Tika
Uh,
Birdcage.
Ooh.
Carolyn's wild and panicked energy was getting the better of her. That's why she got sloppy. She got sloppy
Ooh.
putting back that thing, the pouch. But it ended up working out for her, and that's why it's a low for me as well. Because it worked out for her. Uh, yeah, and then the other thing is editing was sort of messing with us. It because for me it was really weird, and this was before I watched the exit interview. It was really weird that Tika didn't add it all up. That Carolyn would be the one to have opened the cage because she was the one who was away from them the most, right? Because that's what we were told. The four of them left. She was left alone. She was she was do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it, then do it, and then she went and did it, right? So for me, the fact that editing was sort of messing with us because apparently that a longer period of time happened in between those scenes. So that for me is a low, the Tika birdcage situation.
So it's kind of like A New Hope and the end of A New Hope and the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, where it
Ooh.
feels like there isn't very much time between the destruction of the first Death Star and the building of the second one. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, like, oh my God, there's
Oh,
a new Death Star over
yeah.
there. Oh my God, right?
Oh my
But
god.
actually, there was like a lot more time that
Yeah,
was, or sort of like the Mandalorian. Oh my God, it seems like it happened in like 3 days, but it's actually like 4 years or something.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
like the smoke and mirrors of editing
Mm-hmm.
and what it did for the storytelling of the Tika birdcage
Mm,
situation.
Yep,
yeah.
yep. So it for me it sort of missed some steps in
Mm.
telling a more effective story there. Well, it told an effective story in the sense that it did hype up it hyped up the tension and the drama, but it didn't add up logically that they
Yeah,
wouldn't immediately think that it was Carolyn.
that's true.
Ah, right. I see
S-
what you mean.
Is it gonna be more of the edit side that that's a low or nah?
Yeah,
It's on the
one, it's
players.
the editing was
Okay.
made the story unclear, and
Mhm.
two, it's the fact that it worked out for Carolyn.
Oh.
She's not gonna get off the hook. Not like a pouch she took out and put back very hastily.
That was so sloppy. That's why I love it.
Yeah,
I know.
So this is
yeah,
one of those like sorry, uh Pablo Picasso's quote about art being the lie by which we realize truth.
yeah. No, but kindly expound, sir.
I don't know. I was just like reading Mayday Eve. Sorry,
Oh, that's a very
very inside
familiar.
joke. Very inside joke,
Mm,
and a lot of and a lot of steps. But yeah, Picasso has this quote: "Art is the lie that enables us to realize the truth." Um, but the idea being that art is, well, it's bull. You know, like art is definitely not reality, but we glean some sort of truth about human nature
mhm,
through that which is not real, right?
mm,
um
Mm.
so like I suppose Joel's contention is, and correct me if I'm wrong, um this was a failure of Survivor's production to enable us to realize truth through the art of their editing.
yeah, because it ended up not making sense that they didn't figure out that it was Carolyn.
Hmm.
By the way of their editing, the art of their editing, of their storytelling.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
sorry. So
Yeah.
instead of like shedding light on why they didn't realize it, they what ended up happening was there was sort of an obscuring
Mm,
of the reason, which is how they hoped we would get the explanation, or like the explanation is, or the explanation wasn't given, therefore it's okay, which is not good storytelling.
Yeah. And speaking of, and since we're speaking of editing, it does seem as if they are doing Carolyn a little bit of some favors.
The Wanner
And it
edit.
might go ahead to allude that she might be receiving a winner's edit.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, just to give Martin a little bit of hope. Yeah, you know.
Nah, I
So it does
disagree.
look like she is
I
getting a
disagree.
winner's edit. You
Like
disagree? I'm making your
because we're
favorite player
getting
the
the
winner.
same vibes, right? The Debbie edit, right? The Debbie. We
No,
call it the
it's not the
Wanner
edit.
edit.
It's not
We
her.
call
Her
it-
edit is not a Debbie edit. She is a Debbie character, but
I
it's
think
just that the edit that she's getting seems to be that the editors are giving her favors.
that's what Debbie had in the first season, though. And they did fondly call it in RHAP the Wanner edit. It's not the winner's edit,
It's
but
the
there's a
Wanner edit.
prominent there's a prominent edit that you have for Debbie in that season. That's what I'm seeing here too
All right.
for Carolyn.
mm.
When you
No,
think
but
Basically,
about
the
it.
in this
opposite of.
instance, the fact that the edit muddled up the other four not figuring it out for
Yeah.
me is them giving her a favor,
Uh,
doing her a
Because
favor.
we have a lot of non-winners with a strong edit too. Like no one figured out the one who burned their tribe mate sock was Russell back in Samoa. No one loved Philip, but there was the strong edit of Philip Shepard maybe winning, even though he never won Survivor.
Mm.
That Rob won. He only had
Take
one
the
vote.
win, dude. Take the win. I'm giving your favorite character the
Winners.
possibility of getting a winner's edit.
Nah, it feels like more hollow than Jamie getting the, you're safe in the first episode. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Mm, okay, all
I'm
right.
kidding.
That's what you think. All right. What
I got
other?
that, I
You
got
have
that.
any lows, Smarts? Any other
Well,
lows?
well, for me, really just Carson, and there's a feeling I'm getting for the other tribe, the Green tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned it already. I really don't like as well Claire on that one. It's like, nah. If she doesn't get her way, I think she's the next out. I think that's what's gonna happen. If they see her as the weak link instead of Matt or
Franny?
Matt's Franny, then she's gotta go.
So
Okay.
are we setting up Claire as the villain here?
Probably.
Because we are because we're supposed to be rooting for Matt and Franny. Like it's all over the editing.
Yeah.
It's all over the story that they're telling. It's the title of the episode, right? And we have somebody that's sort of playing the devil's advocate
In
to
Claire.
Franny in the person of Claire saying like, yo, you should not go with the you shouldn't do that, right? So we could be seeing we could be seeing her set up as a villain. Like that could be interesting.
The antagonist to their protagonistic romantic story.
Yeah. Right. So I mean that's a thought. That's a thought. And I suppose to the question from our little episode about our pre 44 episode, who do I see that could be the sort of King George of this season from Survivor Australia? Maybe Claire.
Maybe Claire.
If we're going to be having a villain and a clear villain, we're looking at
Is she a George though, or is she just a Shawnee?
What's a Shawnee though? Like because
Shawnee is
King
one
George.
of the other players in Survivor Australia who aligned with King George.
So who's King George here? Would maybe be Danny?
I don't know if we've seen him.
no, we're not gonna have she might be the closest that we would have to a George, because I don't really see anybody else.
Unless
I don't really
it
see
is
anybody
Carson.
Good luck
He's
with
the
that.
he likes to think strategically, right? I don't
This is every
know.
super fan.
if
This is every right?
You'll be able
Like
to
in
pull it
the
off.
game. Like in the game.
Yeah,
Ah.
we'll see. We'll
Or
see.
we see Josh emerge as like the
Oh my
ultimate
God.
like villain.
Wait, who's
Yeah,
Josh
for
again?
a second, I forgot about all about George.
There's a
again.
Josh.
Who's Josh?
Well, he did do
Who's
something
Josh?
this episode. He did win that immunity challenge for them.
Bro, he won the immunity, right? And here we are, like talking about
Yeah.
everybody except for
Again?
Oh my god!
Without Josh again. Like, oh my god, yeah, he did win that.
Yeah, he
Ah,
won it
that's his
for them. But he
name.
did drop it like several times before actually finally getting it. Or maybe his
Yeah.
drops were only magnified by the fact that Matthew did it so quickly because he had that replica in his backyard.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So yeah. Any other lows for you, Joe?
Um, just the mental image of the poop tooth.
Were you eating when you were watching? Thank
No,
God I
it's
wasn't.
just whenever we have those medical exams at the beginning of like the year, the thing that I fear the most
Is the
is the stool exam.
yeah?
Like more than
right.
anything, like more than anything else.
I always
You
have
know,
it with
like right? It's the stool exam. So
yeah.
just the image of the poop tooth was
Yeah, it was yeah. Yeah, let's leave it at that. It
let's
was
just leave it at
yeah.
Yes.
Though I will say that it was like very clever editing, but just the image of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
Again, yeah,
seriously,
clever,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Heroic, but really?
Yeah.
Quasi heroic.
Quasi-heroic.
Quasi heroic. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it.
So yeah. Well, I do have one more low.
okay.
And it is the fact that someone like Matthew was able to build a replica, and even someone like Carson could get 3D printer 3D printed versions of the challenges. For me, it's a low.
Mm.
I think this was pointed out by Rob as a podcast
Mm-hmm.
that it creates that additional layer of separation from
Right.
the haves and the have-nots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because
that.
those who can actually afford to make an actual
Yeah.
plywood replica of that specific challenge in their backyard, or who would have, this was pointed out by Gabby Pascuzzi, who would have a 3D printer lying around in their house to print like all of these puzzles.
Yeah.
Right?
And the time, man. The time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Carson's young. Carson's a student, so I don't know. He probably has a lot of time.
Weekend, and the weekend project, but yeah, there is that sociological theory that affluence is measured by the amount of time you can waste.
Mm,
Like affluence is measured by the amount of waste, rather.
yeah.
In how
Yeah,
much time you can waste, and in how much
and
space you can waste.
this is a concretization of that, right?
Yeah.
Although we don't really quite know the social status of any of the players, but yeah, so if it's someone who can build a replica of the puzzles in his backyard or can have them 3D printed, they're definitely better off than someone who just does it using whatever, like Evie, just whatever she had lying or he had lying in the in
Whatever
the
they
house.
had lying around.
Whatever they had lying around. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's a low for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. It's like,
The-
wow.
Yeah, so our lows are not just bound by what we watch in the show. We
It's
now
like
go outside of the show.
outside of the
We're
show.
now socially conscious.
Yes. Yes.
Woke.
Any other
Yeah,
lows for you,
that's
Zhao?
I was actually gonna mention that as well.
Mm, yeah.
Because I listened to the
Yeah,
Rob has a
the Rob
podcast
Has a Podcast, yeah.
episode. And even our heroes over at No Buffs kept on like hitting the like 3D printer. Who just has a 3D printer? Like,
I think there's a point why they still want to play the game because of the money, right? So no one has that much money to do a 3D printer. Just like
To have a
Matthew.
3D printer, yeah.
Yeah, but,
Well, he's
Survivor
got connections in NASA, so he probably
Yeah.
was able to finesse a 3D printer.
Yep.
I mean, 3D printers aren't prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, not anymore
It's
at the
just-
very least.
not
right?
anymore, but,
Before they
yeah.
were like extremely expensive.
Yeah,
But I think now they've come
no,
up
they
to-
aren't prohibitively expensive. But with that being said, you need to be fairly affluent to
Yeah.
be able to afford a
Sure, right?
3D printer. But then how much are the cheapest 3D printers now? Like $300-$400
I
maybe?
don't know.
I don't know, but
Maybe.
They could
I mean,
use
they
those
aren't
couple hundreds though.
they
Roughly.
aren't
They
yeah,
aren't
so
like
so
in
so there
hundreds,
is
thousands of pesos.
not
Not anymore,
anymore.
I think.
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
not anymore.
But yeah, the divide has become
It
more
creates
pronounced. Another barrier to entry.
barrier. Yeah,
There we
between the
go.
haves and the have-nots.
Especially since, like, which is kind of disappointing, when you have like cut like interspersed within the episode, you have those shots of Jeff Probst walking on the beach looking straight into your soul, saying like, would you like to be part of this adventure? Apply now at survivor.com or cbs.com/whatever. And like, knowing that there are more barriers to entry.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and well, at least the barriers to entry don't have to do with stuff you can't control, like
Mhm.
being white and not
Yeah.
being
Oh right.
white.
Thank God. Thank God.
True.
But it's
No, it's
I
barriers
see
to
what
like
you
a
mean.
entry and
10 with a
barriers
swimsuit.
to doing well as well.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
I can see that.
There's now a new
I can
like new barrier.
I can see that. What it's the why don't they just like make new puzzles?
Yeah,
You know,
actually.
like just make new puzzles, bro.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
can reuse challenges, just not the puzzle part.
Exactly. I mean, that is what Carson said, right? He noticed that the puzzles were getting reused and reused. That's why he 3D printed all of his puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other lows?
I'm fresh out.
Well, I don't know. Ano lang. Just I don't think that they should have used the B plot as the title of the show, but that's just a
Yeah.
little bit of a nitpick.
Yeah. It should have
That's just a
been,
tiny little
well,
nitpick.
scared money don't make no money.
Yeah,
That's
scared
that's
money.
catchier, man.
Scared money don't make no
yeah.
money.
It's just like preposterous.
Proposters.
At least, but at least here it was still in the episode. Like, preposterous was like not.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
wasn't
anyway.
even in the episode.
It was like a secret scene.
Yeah, it was a secret scene. All right, so I guess
Absurd.
that rounds out all of our lows. Let's now go to our predictions for next week. What do you guys have? What do you
Man,
think
for-
is gonna happen?
it's
What do I
scary.
think is gonna happen?
Well, for me, I think that the second part of the birdcage is gonna come into play. So the fake idol, I think Danny is gonna be the one to put it in play. So someone is probably gonna find the fake idol in the Ratu tribe, or someone
wait.
is gonna open the
Yeah,
cage
yeah.
again and find the. It's sort of given in the next week on Survivor. When we see that Danny eats up that other piece of paper
Oh, the
that probably
paper.
was the piece of
Yeah.
paper that says that the other item does not have any power whatsoever.
But the key, where did he drop the key? Or is he gonna
He probably
Probably
just
re-hit it
dropped
somewhere.
it somewhere.
re-hit it somewhere? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
should.
it would be weird if like the key's just there all of a sudden.
Yeah, like, oh, how
Or
convenient.
maybe he does a Brandon for the second time. Guys, I found the key. Right?
Oh,
But the thing is, it would paint a target on his back though.
Yeah, it would arouse suspicion.
It would paint a target on his back because he would have the idol. He would be the owner of
Yeah.
the idol.
If the
Yeah.
idol they used was fake and they were like, but Daddy showed me the wait, right? They'll have that kind of
Yeah.
that's
I can-
risky.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, he probably it would be more tactical for him, more strategic for him to rehide the key in a very obvious space, maybe like floating in the water well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the knowledge is power advantage.
Under the
uh,
shelter.
Yeah.
Oh my
Maybe.
God.
So yeah. So that's something. Anyway,
Drops it
you
in
guys,
the
what are
water
your
well.
predictions?
What's her name? Claire. Claire is going to be in a challenge.
sit out another challenge. Be in the challenge.
Yeah, she's going to be in a challenge, and it's
Mm.
going to like fail spectacularly, and her tribe is going to be like, yeah, we were right to have you sit out.
Yep.
Or maybe that could be her tactic.
Maybe.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
do badly in the challenge, so it's gonna be uh logical for me to sit out every time, right?
Though
I
I
can't
feel
swim,
like
guys. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Wait, was it her?
speaking,
Was it her in that first challenge? No, because she sat out, right?
yes, he sat
There was
out
a
just this
challenge where there
episode.
was someone who was having a hard time swimming.
I can't remember who
Was
that
it
I
was.
her?
don't remember if it was her though. I think she was
Hmm.
okay.
She wasn't
But
in. She wasn't in the first challenge, dude.
oh,
Oh no, the first.
The
No,
first
she was she
no, not the mooring challenge.
the first immunity
the person
challenge.
you teach?
Yeah. Oh, so yeah,
So
she sat that one out too. So she sat. That's the thing. Didn't it used to be you can't sit out the same
yeah,
player the
isn't
same?
that the same?
Oh no,
Why
because
now?
no one. What? Wait.
How
Yeah,
many?
because Bruce had
Okay.
already left, so they had to sit out one person each.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. So that
But
doesn't
didn't it
apply
used
to
to
last
be
episode.
that you can't sit out the same person in in consecutive challenges?
Exactly.
Yes, I was thinking that as
Exactly.
well, which makes me
Right?
think they might have had a reward challenge
Okay, yeah.
that we did.
No,
Which they might have cut the reward challenge
from this one.
from this one
Could
or
make
episode one.
sense. Yeah. Could make sense.
Yeah, but it couldn't have been this one because it was both an immunity and reward challenge. It was the
Yeah,
fishing gear, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
We'll
either
find
they
out
got rid of the
this
rule
episode if
or
they try to sit her out again and they have no problem with it. Maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But
anyway.
if
So
if she screws it up, it
mm,
paints a bigger target on her back instead of them taking out the immediate threats of a couple, which is Matt and
yeah, the
yeah,
Dorky magnets.
the Dorky Magnets.
What do you guys think is gonna happen to the dorky magnets? You think they're gonna you think they're going to flourish into like a
Rob and Amber thing.
Oh,
showman's whatever or
the hopeless romantic in me wants it to happen. Yeah, I guess they're just too adorable. They're just too
There you
adorable
are.
because they're so wholesome, except for that one line from Blanky. But yeah,
so
uh,
so
yeah.
we're not predicting Franny breaking his heart by like voting by turning
Oh,
on
that
him
would
because
just
of
be
Claire.
after that.
That
Blankenship would probably be like, he'd be distrustful of all women if that happens to him in the show. Oh my gosh, that would be so sad for him.
wow, that is a possibility. But like I said, if the tribe is smart enough, they try to break them up immediately.
You don't see what's it? You don't see a what do you call it? You don't see merit in sort of riding the coattails
Of a
of a
couple.
Of a couple,
couple until the
because you would have
merge.
two votes with you right away, right?
Once you hit the merge, that's when you go into all of your other tribes and
Exactly.
we go to the other tribes and say like, yo, they're gonna be a problem, and that's like
Yes,
when you flip the power structure
Though
exactly.
in a
In the
small tribe.
smaller
But
tribe, I
in the
think that
smaller tribe,
it's okay to stick with them.
I don't
it
know.
might be your
They
ticket to the merge. Just a
tried
thought.
that in Survivors All Stars and see what happened there.
Who
Hmm.
who stuck with them? Philip.
They
Philip is like a
Lex tried to save Amber, and you know what happened.
no.
Tom stuck with them.
Who
You know what happened.
who
Yeah,
Big
who?
Tom, Big Tom.
Big Tom.
But
Uh,
it's only because Big Tom and don't Big Tom and Rob like have a relationship outside of Survivor?
yeah, but in a way, he's protecting the couple because Rob got Amber. So that I think if these guys are super fans, I think the very the first instinct is, oh, couple, that's cute. Yeah, let's take them out.
Yeah, but like this is my
But Zhao,
hypothesis. This is my
I like the
hypothesis, right?
hypothesis you gave
Right,
earlier.
because Lex and Big Tom in All Stars, but their mistake was
Not
they
going
stuck
against the
with
couple.
they yeah, but
Yeah,
and then they stuck with them
post merge.
too long. They stuck
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
them
too
into like the
long.
post
exactly.
merge or the swap the swap, right? There was a swap in that
Not
season.
yeah, when they stuck with them
Longer than they should have.
longer than it would benefit their game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
so my hypothesis is that sticking with a couple could be the play to get you to the merge.
Mhm.
And then you
Especially
take him out
since
of
you
the
only have
merge.
6 members in the tribe.
Yeah, and then in the merge, you try to take them out, but you can make it look like it wasn't you,
Ah.
Yeah.
but like somebody from one of the other tribes because they
Mhm.
don't really know the people from the other
And
tribes.
that's when you play
Alright.
your shot in the dark.
That yeah, exactly. That's when you play your shot in the dark. That's when you're like, I'm not feeling good about this, Jeff, even though like you know in your heart of hearts that you were the
You
one
know.
that set it in motion.
Yeah.
Set it up.
Oh, you are a sneaky little snake.
Hey.
Yes, exactly. And that's
Oh,
where
ain't that the episode next
that's
week?
exactly we go into nice segue, Joe. Let's go to whose line is it anyway? Who will say that line?
It's going to be somebody talking about Carolyn.
That's what I first thought. That's what I
Yep,
first
because
thought.
they
Like,
set it up. Because they set up the whole snake thing
yeah.
with her being in the tree and be like,
And then with
ah.
the snake.
And somebody finds out that she was the one that opened.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the one that
I
opened
actually
the
had
cage.
my one of my I actually had 2 possibilities. That was my first possibility, and I
Uh-huh.
actually
I think the snake is
noted
there.
that it's Jam Jam talking about
Yes.
Carolyn.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Oh my God, she's a sneaky little snake.
It's
Right?
like
That sounds like
she's not
something that
she's
Jam
not
Jam would
just
say.
Jam Jam
goofy and
would say.
share. She's also a sneaky little snake.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
You can see that too.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Wow.
What about you,
So-
Marts? Who do you think is gonna say it?
I think it's the other tribe. So the
Mhm.
snake would be Danny. And it won't be the czar of laziness. I'm thinking it would be either Matt or, his love interest, which is
Franny.
Franny. So it's either Franny or yeah,
Franny
those
or
two
Claire?
will say
How do you see it coming out?
like, I didn't. It seems like there's something here because I think one of them is gonna get the other one, but it looks too good to be true. And they might just have suspicions on Danny immediately. I don't know why, but I think like they're smart enough to at least see that too. Because I think this Green Tribe, just like the previous iterations of the Green Tribe in the new era, like the one with Shannon Ricard,
These
these are the more
they're the brains tribe. That's
cerebral
where,
tribe.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
where that's the brains tribe from Survivor. One of
Okay, yeah.
the ones set here in the Philippines.
So
That was the
yeah,
brains tribe.
so like this, I
Cagayan,
think
right?
these
It's
guys
Cagayan.
are more
Cagayan, yeah, the green
cerebral
one.
than
They
the
were
other
also-
tribes, and they'll say, "Wow, this sneaky snake." I really feel like it's
Mm.
gonna be the Green Tribe. I
Ooh.
could be wrong because we're just saying who signs it anyway, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. It's just
For copyright reasons, by the way.
yeah. It's
Our segment our segment is actually called "Whose Line Is It Actually?"
actually
whose
there you
line
go.
is it
Whose line is it
actually?
actually?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's whose
We're
line
sorry,
is it
Mr. Carey.
actually? It's not Mr. Carey anymore, by the way. Anyway,
And it
so-
wasn't Drew Carey to begin with, like from the British
yeah,
version. It
it
was
was
somebody
a,
else.
it's from the UK. It's actually the show of Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
And my other option. Do you have any other options, Jao?
It could be, and this is less likely. The other one that I was thinking maybe was because of the foregrounded elements of this episode.
Okay.
It could be like Matt talking about Franny or Franny talking about Matt and using it as a sort of term of endearment, right? Like, oh, he's such a sneaky little snake. We're strategic, like, "Rawr," but then the things that I have against, the things that I have going against that is they already got the
Yeah, you got the
title
for this
of
one.
this episode, so probably it's
Lightning won't
probably
strike twice.
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably Jam Jam talking about Carolyn. Yeah.
Yeah. My other one is Sarah about Carson.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, because I think that she is gonna find out. Well, she already found out that he flipped, right? So he's gonna say, "Oh, he saw it, yada yada yada. He's such a sneaky little snake." And I mean,
Alright.
most of them saw the snake, right?
Yeah.
That Carolyn encountered. So it'll
Yeah.
be in their consciousness. So he's a
Possibly,
sneaky
man.
little snake, and he's little, right?
Yeah.
And in
And
truth,
he's
True.
he is.
sneaky.
And he's sneaky,
Sneaky.
and he did betray the
Well,
alliance that he had with Helen and Sarah. So he's a
Hmm.
snake.
All right.
Yeah. So
Makes
that's my
sense.
other option. Alrighty, go.
I see that. I see that as well.
Let us go ahead to survivors of the week. Who is your castaway of the week? Let's start with Martin.
Carolyn.
Okay. Like I needed to ask that.
Carolyn the Major, brother.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Joe? Who you got?
I'm gonna say Carolyn as well.
Oh, okay. Cool. For me, it's Matthew for just revealing that he made
Right.
the replica in his backyard. That was just so cool, and how he won that challenge. He took out the sling, his arm from the sling, because
He won
knew that
against
could do
medical.
well with this challenge.
This is for
And I've been
you.
preparing for this for a long time, Jeff. Right, and for him to actually say it, right, not really caring,
Yeah.
right? Which goes into my go-to of the week, and I'll start it. My go-to of the week. I think that well, you guys will probably agree that my go-to of the week is Carson. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
First of
Yes.
all, his attempt at behavior analysis. Nope, he cannot be in the FBI. Nope, he is not
No,
possible.
mm-mm.
He cannot be possibly cast as a character in Criminal Minds.
Nope.
Yeah.
To quote
100%,
old
100%.
Survivor quote that I forgot who said
Mhm.
it, but it's no pumpkin, no
Mm.
Carson to
Yeah.
Carson.
So,
Yeah.
and then also for me,
100%.
because we coming from Matthew revealing that he actually made a replica in his backyard, we have Carson, who is hiding the. I mean, it's strategic on his part. He doesn't want
Oh.
the target painted on his back, but he's not like gung ho about the information. He doesn't want to show his love for Survivor
Yeah.
outright, right? Which tells me that he's playing, and I'm not sure if he chose the right side.
Oh.
Yeah, again, shading the Carolyn Jam Jam coupling.
Maybe his chaotic side.
Mhm.
Maybe we were led to believe that his chaotic side is siding with Carolyn and Jam Jam, but it could be that the chaotic side that we were talking about was what would happen if it ended up with a 2-2 vote split. Just saying.
Oh.
True.
Okay. It's good.
And
Okay.
just
I will confess, or I will admit that I made this note before I watched the exit interview,
Alright.
where Helen thinks that Carson did think about the 2-2 vote and the going to rocks, and I didn't have that in my head back then. What about you guys?
I'm just putting out small percentage things, stuff to put in, like maybe one other person's head canon. like somebody out in the 8 billion other people of the world, like, yeah, that could be part of your head canon.
Yeah. What about you guys? Who's your go-to of the week?
Carson, man, Carson.
Carson, duh.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Oh, and of course we cannot forget although these are the forgettable castaways. Who is your purple of the week?
Who's that dude again? Chris?
Josh.
There is no
Josh?
Chris. There's a Josh.
There, Josh Chris.
Right.
Okay.
My purple of the week is
Mhm.
everyone that isn't named Matt, Franny, and
Danny.
anybody that isn't named Matt, Franny, Ernest the Stick Insect, and the Tika tribe.
So the other,
Wow.
yeah.
So basically everybody else.
You got the orange tribe, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else.
For me, I've got just one, and it's Jamie. After being
Alright.
congratulated
Yeah,
for
true.
that shot in the dark, she disappeared from the screen, not
Or
to be
maybe-
seen again.
That's her alligator move.
Nah, I don't think
Maybe
so.
she's going back under.
Nah, I don't think so. I do not equate her with alligator.
And then she wins that. No, hell no.
No,
I don't
and
think
she's too. No, I mean with all of her preseason, uh, preseason interviews, and then even her first confessional, she was like, "I will manifest. I'm manifesting that I'm going to win, and I'm going to create a lot of good whatever
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
relationships." But yeah, for this one, after that hilarious laugh, her laugh at the start of the game. Sorry, the episode.
Yeah.
She disappeared. She doesn't get mentioned again. She doesn't get a confessional.
That is true.
Just is purple edited.
Yep.
Ooh. Yeah.
And,
Uh,
everyone that isn't named Matt, Franny, Ernest, the Stick, Insect, and Tika.
Ernest the Stick. That was too cute. I mean, that's just a cute couple. I want them to stick out.
Ouch.
Yeah. And yeah, you guys mentioned. I mean, Martin, you mentioned that you think that their relationship is more like Gabby Pascuzzi
Yeah,
and
in the long
Professor
run.
Shubiki, and even Gabby said that. Gabby thinks that it's a
It would.
romantic thing. This one is romantic, not a
Mm.
platonic thing like the one that she had
Okay.
with Christian. Although people, myself included, were like shipping them. I was shipping Christian and Gabby in their season. Yeah.
Whoa, they were hiding in plain sight. Sorry, I'm looking at the cast photo.
Uh-huh.
Matt and Franny are sitting next to each other.
Oh! More to the head cannon. More to the head cannon.
So yeah, that is it. I guess that's it for this episode.
Before
the
that,
Kansas
before
City-
that,
yeah, go
before
ahead.
that,
Okay.
advantage watch.
Hold up, bro. Hold up.
Lauren has
Advantage
an
watch.
extra advantage watch. Lauren has an extra vote that everybody knows about.
Mm.
Matt has no votes for the next two tribal councils, and
Oh, wow.
I don't think most people know about the second one, but I'm sure that Franny knows that he has no votes for the next two tribal councils. Sarah has the inheritance advantage that people don't know about, at least we're told.
Or not.
Nobody knows about it. Danny has an idol that nobody knows about, and he put the fake idol back into the cage. And
Mhm.
Carolyn has an idol that nobody knows about, and she has
She
a
did
fake
not.
idol in her possession as
Yeah.
well.
She has a sock in the cage.
Yes, basically. So there, that's the advantage watch. We currently have 4 advantages in play, and we have Matt, who is just tremendously unlucky.
Yeah.
So we will see how that might go into play. I mean, if they do get the line, it might be his line, and Franny votes him out. Oh, and then he says she's such a sneaky little snake, but I love her still. It takes me away. All right. Okay. So yeah, thank you for that, Zhao, and that's it for this episode of the Council of Titos. If you like the video, please hit the like button and also consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified whenever we have new content on the Laro-Laro page. This channel has other shows on it focused on sports and other similar things. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs as we talk Survivor, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos. Anyway, this has been Chief Bisdak, Joel Parcon.
I'm Ernest, the stick insect.
And this is Martin.
There you go. We hope that you can join us again on the council soon. Until then, stay safe. Everyone, the Titos have spoken.